Welcome to The Source, where we combine the headlines with in-depth conversations with the newsmakers themselves. I'm Pinky Webb. Today on the program, the operator of the North Luzon Expressway vows to improve its services as other city governments raise concerns following the suspension of toll operations in Valenzuela City. The Quezon City government forms a task force that will oversee its future purchase and distribution of COVID-19 vaccines. And local governments are gearing up as experts warn of a possible surge of COVID-19 cases during the holidays. Quezon City Mayor Joy Belmonte joins us live. The North Luzon Expressway Management vows to improve its services following the suspension of toll operations in Valenzuela City on Monday. This means toll fees on Valenzuela toll gates are now waived. So how does this actually affect the traffic flow in nearby cities, and what are the steps local government units are doing to improve traffic situation during the holiday season? Let's go straight to the source of this story. We have Quezon City Mayor Joy Belmonte. Mayor Belmonte, welcome to the source, and it's good to have you.
Thank you for having me, Pinky, and it's a pleasure to be with you again. And hi to everyone listening to the program and watching.
Good morning to you, Mayor. Let's start with the NLEX issue. To enter NLEX, one passes through areas in Quezon City, such as Balintawak. Can you please tell us how your area has been affected by the implementation of the RFID?
Well, at first we were very hopeful because we are great supporters of cashless transactions, and the objective, I believe, was to hasten the vehicular flow of traffic and to make things more convenient for the people. But it turns out the opposite happened. No? Traffic became worse. There was a lot of congestion, and while the toll gate, none of them are located in Quezon City. They are located in Caloocan, and I'm referring to the Balintawak toll gate, and the Mindanao Smart Connect is in Valenzuela. Still, we are the adjacent city, and the lines start in our city. And the problems or the glitches that have been happening have greatly affected the flow of vehicular traffic in our city. And therefore, last night, I issued a statement of support to Mayor Rex Gatchalian for his very brave move to suspend the business permit of the NLEX Corporation until such time that they actually fix their system and all of their glitches, so that their objective of helping motorists rather than making life more difficult for motorists is actually achieved. And I also congratulated Mayor Oka Malapitan, my neighbor in Balintawak, for engaging NLEX. And I believe they will have a meeting today and a dialogue to try to figure out how the local government unit and the NLEX Corporation can help one another to ease the problems that are currently being experienced by our motorists.
So you're throwing your support behind the move of Mayor Rex, no? But I also remember reports in the past, maybe a week or 2 weeks ago, Mayor, that even in Quezon City, there were problems with traffic. There were traffic jams, I believe, in Quezon City Circle because of the installation of the RFID.
Yeah, there were some traffic problems. So it's because that they centralized the distribution of the RFID at the circle. But it was not a big problem. We were able to solve that right away because we dispatched our enforcers to assist. No? So I don't think that was a big problem. The bigger problem, Pinky, that I am facing today is the closure of all of our U-turns, or many of our U-turns, that has greatly congested our streets and really worsened traffic. But I understand also, and I'd like to stress that I understand that the purpose for these closures was in fact to give way to the EDSA Carousel Busway, no? And that is as a program of the national government that I support. But one thing that I noticed, no, Pinky, because I'm such a hands-on person, is I went around the city and I noticed that these bus lanes, which take up a lot of our streetscape, that eat up a lot of streets, the buses are not naman sunod-sunod. Hindi sila sunod-sunod. In other words, may lag, may lapse bago dumating yung next bus. So there's actually room for a win-win situation, and that is something that I am proposing to our national government enforcers, na maaring kapag dumaan na yung bus at matagal pa naman yung susunod na bus, at since malawak naman yung street, yung street space na binigay dun sa bus, baka pwede naman mag-U-turn yung mga sasakyan na nakaabang, no? Tapos syempre, pag dumating na ulit yung susunod na bus, mas priority yung carousel bus, no? Baka pwedeng pag-aralan yon, no? That is just a proposal. And I also told the MMDA and na since ayoko maging reklamador, no, Pinky, hindi ako ganong klaseng leader. I would like to propose solutions. So sabi ko, kung pagbigyan mo kami dito, or kung isa ito sa mga pwede niyong i-consider, we will actually volunteer the manpower and the enforcers needed to maintain order kapag pinayagan po yung certain U-turns to be used.
I see.
And thinking, and one reason kasi na medyo naabala ako about these closures is kasi, di ba, ang layo ng kailangan ibiyahe ng mga sasakyan. It takes up time.
U-turn.
Nagdadagdag ng traffic. A wider road has now become narrower, and this of course is being felt in the Balintawak area where a 5-lane road naging 2-lane na lang. No? So nakaka-apekto din yan, no, sa area na yan. Pero ito yung pinaka-concern ko. Yung number 1 COVID hospital namin sa local government is the Quezon City General Hospital. At yung mga taong kailangan i-rush sa hospital, not just for COVID but for other illnesses as well, hirap na hirap po sila. No? So ang aking ang pakiusap, kahit man lang yung U-turns that lead up to that hospital, kung pwede sanang payagan kaming gamitin, even just based on that scheme that I earlier mentioned to you. No?
Right. That's a very valid concern, especially because the hospital is right there and there should be nothing that would hamper yung pagdating ng pasyente doon. Although, of course, yung mga ambulance naman, di ho ba, Mayor, pinapayagan doon sa bus lane. However, of course, there would be private cars who may be on emergency, may have emergency issues as well. So, you have proposed this and you have actually offered manpower. Wala pa ho ba silang tugon doon sa inyong proposal?
So meron naman, Pinky, no, I'd like to stress again na I wrote the DOTR, the LTFRB, and the MMDA, and all are very responsive. In fact, the MMDA has already communicated with me, si GM Jojo Garcia, and he and I will be meeting about this problem within this week. No? So kahit na hindi yung proposal ko ang pagbigyan, kasi syempre long shot naman yun, Pinky, nagbabakasakali lang naman ako. Still, he has promised na yung mga concerns ko pertaining to traffic for the people of Quezon City and others as well who are using our thoroughfares, he will help me address them. You know? And for me, that is good enough, that there's dialogue and there's communication and there's that mutual goal, that an objective that we both would like to achieve for our people.
Pero wala pa pong pangako kung paano maiibsan yung traffic in that area, because I know that you wanted some of the intersections also opened. I think there are two that, or ito na ho ba yung sinasabi niyo, yung sa EDSA Muñoz and EDSA West Avenue and North Avenue interchange?
Well, yun yung dalawang pinopose ko, no? Yung EDSA Muñoz yun talaga that leads to the hospital and other thoroughfares as well na ginagamit talaga ng ating mga mamamayan. And the other one, yung West Avenue and North Avenue EDSA, that's the Trinoma area. Alam mo naman yung area na yan, Pinky, no? Medyo talagang madaling magkaroon ng congestion ng traffic dyan, no? So these are just suggestions. Again, I would like to say, Pinky, suggestions lang to based on the recommendations of our traffic heads dito po sa Quezon City, based on yung aming mga personal observations. We also have 6 U-turn slots, by the way, na sinuggest namin na baka maaari rin nilang i-consider. But again, like I said, we understand the reason why this has happened and nakikiusap lang naman kami kung pwedeng pag-usapan pa namin. And so, if they propose a different solution and we feel that it is viable, we will accept these solutions. No? Ang importante para sa akin, Pinky, yung nag-uusap talaga at tumutugon sila, hindi deadma. Hindi kami dinededma, kundi pinapakinggan kami.
Opo. There's constant communication, and I have to say, Mayor Joy, that proposal of yours, one of those, yung sa bus lanes. That is the sentiment of a number of people I've spoken to as well, na pag tiningnan mo talaga yung bus lane na yon, ay marami pong times na ang haba ng gap between the first bus and yung susunod na bus. Kaya nga there was also a proposal, yung sentiment ng ilan, na medyo, I don't know if you can call it, may stop and go doon sa bus lane para mapayagan yung pag-U-turn. All right. So, wala pang tugon ang, MMDA and other agencies on this. We hope you will find a common ground dito dahil ang tindi po ng traffic sa Quezon City. But we need to take a very short break. We'll be talking about Quezon City's vaccination plans when we return. This is The Source on CNN Philippines. Please stay tuned. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. Our guest today, Quezon City Mayor Joy Belmonte. Mayor Joy, the numbers in Quezon City over the weekend, it came out that Quezon City topped the numbers with 112 new cases. But I spoke to you yesterday and you said, meron namang good news dahil bumababa na po yung number ng COVID-19 cases. Tell us the status of your fight against COVID-19 over there in Quezon City.
Well, actually, Pinky, no, the good news was during November, our numbers were really quite low. Mababa talaga siya. In fact, our partner, Octa Research, already said na yung ating positivity rate was only 4%, no? And anything below 5% is good. At yung ating pong tinatawag na reproduction rate was about 0.7 na lang. And anything below 1 is good, no? So we were on the right track. And in fact, we still are on the right track. Nagkataon lang, syempre you're talking about a daily case, which is umabot ng 112 in one day. Pero we prefer to look at it in a weekly perspective, no? So in given any week, ano yung average number? So I think umakyat kami. Tama ka, Pinky, no? Dati nung November mga 60 ang average per day, naging mga 80 ngayong December. Pero a few days ago, mas bumaba ng konti, no? So nagpo-fluctuate naman, no, along those lines, no. Pero hindi pa rin yan cause for alarm kasi alam naman natin, Pinky, that our city is extremely big with about 3.2 million people. And so given that number, yung positivity rate hindi pa rin nagbabago at yung reproduction rate umangat ng konti but still below 1, no? And now we are seeing a slow reduction in numbers on a daily basis, no? And I hope na masustain natin yan. Pero having said that, yung attack rate ng Quezon City, yan yung number of cases per 100,000. We are still on 15th place sa buong NCR. So just putting things in context, Quezon City is still in a good place. And a lot of the increase kasi is not just attributed to yung pagdami ng bilang na pagpapabaya. Nag-increase din po kasi kami ng testing. No? We test about from as little as 5,000 to 7,000 a day. So, the natural, mas marami kang makikita. We also partnered with Project ARC, which is the private sector. And we've been testing also several thousand, no? Through pool testing. Ito naman yung kanilang advocacy. And more than that, also we've increased contact tracing. Dati 3:1, 5:1. Masaya na kami pag 10:1. Ngayon, 30:1 na. So it is also natural na dadami rin yung makikita nating patients. Oo. So, pero given all of these, I think some are good news, some are not so good news. Kasi may outbreak din naman tayong na-observe. But taken all together, given the context, Quezon City is still in a good place. And today, we will be getting an update from Octa Research and hopefully they will have good news for us.
Are you worried about the coming holidays?
Actually, Pinky, one thing that I am proud of is I always prepare so early on. And that's one reason also why pag bagyo, medyo nakakapag-cope kami. No? Napaka sabi mo ng OA. So dito sa Quezon City, we already have a team called the Surge Team. And they're there already to prepare in case the Christmas holidays make people more festive than we would want them to be at nagkaroon ng surge coming January. No? But now, we are doing everything that we can already to prevent that. So some things that we have done, alam naman natin na every first day of the month, tsaka middle of the month, I release guidelines. So we've already released our guidelines to help our people in the holiday season as well as in the New Year period. No? And these guidelines include, of course, yung very strict implementation ng age gap. No? Alam naman natin, there was this talk about minors being allowed out. This was overruled by a votation by the Metro Manila mayors. And Quezon City went one step further by actually instituting already an ordinance. No? So in this ordinance, talagang we are going to be very strict that we will penalize parents as well as establishments that allow the age groups that are not being allowed by the IATF, kung pinayagan po sila po ay magkakaroon ng multa. Isa po yan sa ginagawa po natin. Number 2, I've already increased the number of enforcers that will be going around our various establishments to check whether there's strict compliance with minimum health standards. We also have embarked on various campaigns, no, Pinky. Among them is the campaign to shop online. I know baka Secretary Mon Lopez will not like this, pero there are a lot of platforms now available where you can actually shop online and order your food online. And a lot of the restaurants in Quezon City, yung mga maliliit, yung mga hindi mo masasabing makapag-practice sila ng social distancing, I don't think they should be discriminated. So we've taken extra efforts to create a platform for them to be online. And I'm speaking in particular dun sa mga restaurants, area na tinatawag na Baginhawa in Malingap. I'm not so sure, Pinky, kung familiar ka doon sa mga lugar na yan. They are small, hole-in-the-wall restaurants, but they serve very good food, and they are manned by micro-entrepreneurs, small entrepreneur students, and we want to make sure that they survive the holidays and this pandemic, and we're helping them by putting them online. No? I've also issued guidelines pertaining to fireworks. So dito sa Quezon City, ban po ang pagpapaputok ng mga individual na mga pamilya. Ang gusto ko, we identify, let's say, areas like Quezon Memorial Circle or Eastwood or other open spaces na pwede magkaroon ng malawakang fireworks displays. We will limit the number of persons who are physically present there, but we will live stream these fireworks displays para yung mga tao sa bahay pwede pa rin manood ng New Year revelries, no, kahit na hindi sila lumalabas. So these are just some of the steps that we have taken. One thing that I'm proud of, Pinky, here in Quezon City is yung dami ng open spaces and parks. And we are very happy na meron tayong ganito na hindi lahat ng lungsod ay nakaka-enjoy ng ganito. No? They say, experts say, na kapag nasa open space ang mga tao, there's much less risk of transmission. And so, rather than encouraging people to stay stay tightly in their small houses. Kasi alam naman natin, Pinky, marami rin namang mga mamamayan dito sa lungsod Quezon na hindi naman kalakihan ang kanilang mga bahay at baka nga maging risk of transmission pa kung dikit-dikit sila sa mga bahay nila. We are encouraging them actually to celebrate an open-air Christmas or an alfresco Christmas. Go to our parks where malalawak ang parks namin, ang Quezon Memorial Circle, ang Ninoy Aquino Parks and Wildlife, ang La Mesa Eco Park, all open spaces. Go to the parks, enjoy the bazaars there, eat the food that we will be preparing there in cooperation with our restaurants, no? At try to enjoy nature din para rin hindi rin tayo magkaroon ng mental health problems, no? So isa yan sa mga campaigns natin sa Quezon City, alfresco and open air celebrations.
And there is, of course, this task force on Vax to Normal. This is something we will discuss, but we need to take a very short break. The Source will be right back. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. Our guest today, Quezon City Mayor Joy Belmonte. There is this task force, Vax to Normal. So it's the COVID-19 vaccine plan of the Quezon City government. What action plan, Mayor, do you have in place for the distribution of vaccine to your constituents once this is available?
Well, actually, no, Pinky, this is more of a effort, again, on our part to be prepared. Because last week, Secretary Galvez already presented to us the roadmap, no, towards the acquiring and the distribution and dispensation of vaccines. No? And although he did not go into detail, so I think the details are not yet available. But having heard the plan, we in Quezon City believe that we should be prepared because apparently ang dami pa na ng components. No? There is the component, for example, of information dissemination. I just read in the papers today that there is a very high distrust for vaccines. Almost 30% of our people don't believe in vaccination. So kasama na dyan yung IEC campaigns mo, yung iba't iba mong communications plans. No? Kasama rin dyan yung issue ng pagpili ng mga beneficiaries. Again, that should be aligned with the national government.
Right.
But we have to make sure that our database is already ready, no? So we don't miss out on anyone that should be vaccinated. Kailangan nandyan din yung ating plan to acquire. Paano ba tayo mag-acquire? Bibigyan ba tayo ng national government? How much? Kung hindi naman tayo bibigyan, what are the guidelines for local governments in purchasing or procuring our own vaccines? So all of these things are going to be discussed and planned by the task force.
Mayor, that's actually the questions I wanted to as a follow-up, no? Yung database niyo ho ba on your priority sector there in Quezon City, is it available? And how many ang first, yung unang batch na mava-vaccinate?
Well, again, Pinky, no, I have to confer with the national government, no, pertaining to sino ba talaga yung mga sectors na gusto nila kasi sila yung magbibigay ng guidelines, no. But pertaining to database, yun ang gusto kong paghandaan kasi alam naman natin, Pinky, ang kahirapan na dinanas natin dun sa SAC distribution kasi ano yan, manual payout dahil at wala tayong mga listahan. So in preparation for that, Quezon City is actually going to borrow an idea from another city, and this is Makati City. This is the idea of Mayor Abby Binay, no? Through her idea of having a Makati citizen card na napadali yung kanyang distribution ng SAP. No? And this is what we're going to do now. In Quezon City, what we will be doing is we will be launching a Q-Citizen card by the first quarter of this year to make sure that all of our people are accounted for and are part of the database. At ito naman po ay plano na namin matagal na. No? This is part of my agenda of governance, and hopefully with a Q-Citizen card, this will be the aid to assist us to make sure that we distribute properly to the people who truly deserve to get this vaccine at the earliest possible time.
Interesting. Mayor, one last question. Do you have a budget in the event that you will need to purchase your own vaccine there for Quezon City?
Yes, we have a vaccine. I will not tell you first what that amount is, Pinky, because it actually can be bigger or smaller than what was allocated by the Sangguniang Panlunsod. We have a lot of other sources pa. Pero the people of Quezon City can rest assured na kung hindi man mabigay sa amin lahat ng national government ang kakailanganin ng Quezon City government, the city is prepared to procure from its own funds. No, we are prepared for that.
May pera po kayo dyan. That's good to hear. Quezon City Mayor Joy Belmonte, ma'am, maraming salamat po sa inyong oras.
Thank you very much, Pinky, at maraming salamat din po sa lahat ng nanood ng ating pong programa. God bless everyone po.
And thank you for joining us here on The Source. I'm Pinky Webb. You're watching CNN Philippines.